The following presentation is a proposal for a research paper involving the comparison of anthropometric and physiological testing of elite junior male and female AFL footballers. Australian rules football is a physically demanding team sport which requires highly developed aerobic fitness capabilities. The game is characterised by frequent accelerations, decelerations, changes in direction, as well as heavy physical contact. AFL has predominantly been played by males. However, the AFL introduced a professional female competition called the AFLW in 2017. The AFLW comprises 8 teams, all of which are affiliated with AFL clubs, and they play in an 8-week competition each season. As with their male counterparts, the AFLW holds a national draft combine each year to complete anthropometric and physiological testing of athletes prior to the AFLW draft. All states now have female AFL academies to cater for the female athlete development and help prepare female athletes for the AFLW draft. The aims of the project are twofold, with the primary aim to compare the anthropometric and physiological testing results of elite junior males against those of female junior AFL footballers. And the secondary aim is to identify possible areas of improvement for elite junior female AFL footballers. The project timeline will run across 4 months from the commencement through to the completion. Due to the State Academy Combine testing being conducted in July 2018 and the AFL and AFLW National Combine testing, which will be conducted in October 2018. Following testing sessions, the data will be collated, analysed and recommendations drafted for completion by 31 October 2018. The participants in this proposal include elite male and female junior AFL footballers from AFL Academy as well as the state academies. Participants will complete anthropometric and physiological testings at both national and state combines as per AFL and AFLW National Draft Combine protocols. All of the tests completed will be set up and completed as per the AFL Draft Combine protocols booklet. At the draft combines, athletes will undergo a battery of anthropometric, physiological and skills-based testing. For the purposes of this paper, the results of the following tests will be analysed. These include body mass, height, sum of 7 skin fold sites, a 20-metre sprint, which will use Fusion Sport Smart Speed gates, and athletes will perform 3 separate runs, with 5 metres, 10 metre and 20 metre splits being recorded. Another test will be the AFL agility test. The agility run is an AFL specific agility test used to indicate a player's overall agility and ability to change direction with speed. Athletes will be asked to perform 3 attempts of this agility run. The yo-yo intermittent recovery test is an aerobic test which has been found to be a highly reliable fitness test for team-based invasion sports. In 2017, the AFL removed the multi-stage fitness test, also known as the beep test, and added the yo-yo, as it had been found to be a more appropriate test for AFL. Athletes will also complete a 2-kilometre time trial. This will be performed on an athletics track, with the athlete's total time recorded as their score. Using a Vertec jump measure, athletes will complete 2 standing vertical jumps as well as 2 running vertical jumps on their left and right foot. Their best score for each will be recorded. Once all testing is completed, the data will be collated. It will then be cleaned to remove any missing values or measurement errors and to identify any outliers. The AFL will provide the de-identified data sets in a raw Excel format, and RStudio will be used to analyse the data collected for comparisons between male and female testing. Correlation analysis will also be conducted to test for relationships between the individual tests. The results will be graphed using line and scatterplot graphs in order to more easily demonstrate the comparisons and relationships between the test results. There are some limitations to the study being undertaken, and these include the limited access to the athletes. The combine testing sessions is the only time that all of the athletes will be in the same location and available to be tested. Due to other commitments on the athletes at the state and national combines, such as club interviews and skills testing, there are significant time constraints, meaning that strength is not a variable that is tested. This is something that should possibly be looked at for further research, particularly within the female space, as strength has been indicated by previous research to play an integral role in the conditioning of an AFL footballer. The state and national combines are run by the AFL, and as such, all data obtained is owned by the AFL, meaning permission is required to utilise the data, and the AFL has some say on how the data and results can be used. Due to the nature of the research being conducted, there are minimal costs associated with this research paper, other than the time required to analyse the data collected from the state and national combine testing sessions. As the AFL and state academies run the combine testing sessions, the majority of costs are borne by those associations. The questions this paper aims to address are: how do female AFL combine testing results compare with the results of males? This is a relatively complicated question, as generally males spend significant time during their youth involved with AFL, which means that they generally have a higher training age than their female counterparts when it comes to the physical demands of AFL. Having said that, females compare quite well against males in terms of their testing results, particularly in speed and agility. What areas do female athletes need to improve in to cope with the demands of AFL football? Aerobic capacity and jumping power are where the most significant differences are found between males and female athletes, where they fall significantly lower than the known gender gap. This may be due to the lack of past specific training they have completed, and it would be of interest to retest these females after a period of specific AFL conditioning. Should female footballers be tested using the same protocols as males? The tests used within the combines are valid, and they have been shown to be reliable. So from that regard, they are appropriate. What needs to be taken into consideration is the known gender gap, which would require benchmarking to be tailored to represent female capabilities. From analysis of the combine testing data, it will provide the AFL and their academies with reliable information which can be utilised to develop applicable conditioning protocols for elite junior female AFL footballers. As the female AFL space is a relatively new one, the information gathered will also assist in the development of appropriate testing benchmarks for female AFL footballers. Other practical applications of the results could be the implementation of position-specific protocols for females in training.